So, hello to all of you. Hi, everyone. My name is Lana Belarus, and I'm a business development manager here at N.Progression. I get that we will wait maybe a minute or more to wait all of our participants, and we can start. While we're waiting, I want to note that several days ago, we have a new wave 2 of Business Central launch by Microsoft. And you can see all details in Microsoft YouTube or our channel also. So I see that we have got participants from all over the world, and it's great. Thank you all for joining us. And I'm also thrilled to have you all here with us. So let's start. This webinar will be about silent migration approach. What is it and how you can use it for your business? I hope that you will find it inspiring and insightful. This webinar will last approximately 30 minutes, and I will be taking questions after the presentation at the Q&A session. So we'll cover silent migration approach in 3 steps: silent scope definition, silent user acceptance test, and silent data migration. We'll also talk about transformative and innovative solution across silent diagnosis, and I hope that you will find it very helpful. So let me introduce our company, N.Progression. N.Progression is a leading provider of innovative digital and cloud services and business solutions. We're implementing, upgrading, and supporting Microsoft Dynamics 365, Power Platform, and Azure. So I'm also excited to announce our today's speaker, Alex Ignatkin. He's a highly experienced specialist with a strong dedication to Business Central. Alex has made significant contributions to the field of cloud migrations. So, Alex, please, stage is yours.
Lana, thank you very much. Thank you for all to being here. I'll take the control and we will go ahead. So today we will talk about upgrade projects or migration projects to the new version of the Business Central. And we called our approach silent migration, and it includes 3 major topics. So all these major topics related to some crucial activities related to any implementation or migration project. So the first group of activity relates to the scope definition. So you need to understand what is the scope of the project, what do you need to migrate to the new version, what not. And we have automated tool which helps to reduce workload on key users or end users or analysts during this stage up to 90%. The next key activity relates to the testing or UAT acceptance test, and you know that it's a very time-consuming process. And again, here we have some automated tool which helps to reduce workload on analysts and end users, key users up to 80%. Our next crucial stage relates to the data migration, and you understand that it's very crucial for any launch of ERP. And again, here we have automated tool which reduce workload on key users up to 50%. Now we'll get through all these main activities, and I'll give you more details related to our silent migration approach. So first of all, let's talk about scope definition. A bit clearer. So if we are talking about all the version of NAV or Business Central, you have a core functionality and your customization. In the core, you have also customization which could be in use or not in use. The same with customized object. It could be outdated or it could be in use. And the standard approach is then you provide a kind of interview with end users or key users to find the functionality which are outdated and which you don't need to migrate to the new version. Based on that information, developers need to provide a deep analysis of system objects and find out the project scope based on system objects and functions. So what is a result of this project, of this process? So you need to spend lots of time communicating with key users. You need to have lots of paperwork. No one likes paperwork, actually. And during this process, you can face with influence of human factor. And you, of course, want us to reduce these risks. So how we can automate this process, and here you can see our sound migration approach related to the scope definition. So how we can automate? We can automate this process based on two sources of the information. So the first source of information is a data model. So you have ledgers in your system. In ledgers, you have transactional business data, and that's a very simple, easy step. You need to analyze all your ledgers and find out when the latest transactions takes place. And this is how you can find out the ledgers which not in use and which is used. We have a tool which help to analyze all dependencies. For example, we have a ledger. It could be customized ledger. If we find out that this ledger not in use, we also can find all related functionality. For example, some reports, some customization in the core of the system, and based on one unused ledger, we can find all related functionality on object level. So this is one of the source of information, and the second one is based on tracking user activity in the system. So you have in the system lots of different objects. It could be reports, code units, forms, etc. So we have online tracker of user activities. And for example, if I'm a user and I run, for example, some report in the log file, you will see this activity. Again, if you're going to post some customized document on and so forth, you will see the list of functions in each object which was actually used. For example, here on this screenshot, you can see some example. Some user runs some business process. It's kind of posting procedure, and as a result, you can see in some code unit there are parts of the code which was used during this particular business process. So as a result, based on this information, we can prepare very detailed project scope based on each object of the system and based on each function in each object. So it's a very detailed information. We actually use this tool for a month or so, and based on tracking user activity, we have a batch of information based on which functionality actually used in the system. Also, based on this information, we can prepare a data migration scope because we know which ledgers are in use, which not. For example, if you see some unused ledgers and we can find all related configuration tables, we understand we don't need to migrate configuration as well if we are not going to use some ledgers. So here, for example, you can see some screenshots. On that screenshot, you can see the list of tables which was run by users. And in the last column, you can see count. You can drill down to the count, and on the right slide, you can see all the details. So it's all users' activity relates to this particular object. Here we're talking about some report. For example, in one of our customer, we had near 200 customized reports, and after analysis, we realized that near 100 reports not in used, and we don't need to migrate it to the new version. So as a result of this tracker, you understand which user works with each functionality, and actually you have kind of communication metrics. If you are going to redesign some business processes, you know with whom you need to speak to. Also, you understand who will need to test some specific functionality and so forth. So it's very useful information for the steps of the project. That's actually it. Relates the scope definition very briefly, and I move further to the user acceptance test functionality. So. What is the standard approach? So based on the interview, key users or analysts are able to prepare kind of test cases. And based on these test cases, we can provide UAT. It's a quite basic approach, and we need to tell that it's a very labor-intensive approach, because lots of interview, lots of paperwork, and we're faced with human factor here as well. And to be honest, it's not a very the quality not very high, because he would just make up some business cases. It's not real life, and this is why we can face with some errors when we will go to the go live. How we can improve this process? We can run a parallel run testing, so it's technically more complex, but if you upload initial balance in new system and you will post for some reasonable period of time transactions in old system and a new one, at the end you will be able to compare all the results and to be sure that everything is fine. This approach great if you're talking about quality, but it's very time consuming and technically complex. So how we can automate this process and receive best quality and reduce workload on end users, and how we can eliminate some human factors. So here you can see the scheme of sound migration relates to the user acceptance test. On the left side of the slide, you can see old NAV BC database. On the right side, you can see new BC database. And the key idea here is that all users manually works in their old database. So we post some typical documents, purchase sales, orders, returns, credit memos, transfer orders. We post some general ledgers, etc. Also, we run some periodic activities. It could be kind of forex revaluation, stock revaluation, application, and so forth. As a result, we will receive some ledgers. So it's records of business activity in its transactional data of business activity. The automation here is about transition with results to the new database. So users here don't need to put some single document twice in old system and a new one. System, the tool, automatically transfer all the posted data to the new system. For example, if user posts some purchase invoice in the old system, new Business Central automatically detect that new document has appeared, and it pull it to the new system. Upload process includes two steps. The first step, we upload data using API to the some buffer, and then we use the full validation and put all the data from the buffer database to the real unposted document in the Business Central. If you've got some errors, for example, we have some specific configuration introduction is a new database, and we have got some validation errors. All validation errors will be put to the transition log, and analysts can check it and fix it if it's needed. As a result, when the user posted some purchase invoice in the old system, he or she will find the same document unposted in the new one, and we just need to post this document once more time. So we don't need to spend much more time to just enter this document. Of course, user need to launch in parallel some periodic activities, kind of stock revaluation, the foreign currency revaluation, and so forth. But it's not very time consuming, and this is why we're talking that actual workload on end users here could be reduced up to 80%. Of course, we need to reconcile all these results. So we need to reconcile ledgers, which we will receive in the old system and a new one. And a bit later, I'll tell you how this reconciliation tool works. So some of the conclusions about this approach. We automate all routine data input to the database. Actually, we significantly reduce risks in a migration project because users manually focused on their current activities. And here I want to tell you about some good example on some of our project. We install a UAT environment and use this tool to transfer all posted documents to a UAT environment. Since 2 weeks of UAT procedure, we realized that UAT environment is stable. Result is equal to the prod environment in the old database, and the customer just decided to rename their UAT environment to the production. So that's one of the way how you can use this tool. You turn on integration between the production database with old database to the UAT environment with new database. And if everything is okay, if everything is stable, you just use UAT environment as a production one. You just rename it. And during this process, you can turn off all the integrations with old database and turn on a new integration with a new database. For example, bank client integration, you can turn it off and turn on new database. So it's a great experience, and some of our clients use this tool also for production transition. Now I ready to move to the third activity. It's sound migration, data migration. And again, what is about the standard approach? A standard approach is about some templates, Excel templates related to the master data and to some transactional data. And users manually usually download some data from old system. We provide some clearing, transformation data in Excel, and based on this information, some IT specialists upload this data to the new database. So again, here's lots of manual work. Here we can face with human factor and so forth. How we can automate this process? So we have a tool which helps to automatically transfer data from the old system to the new one. And if you look at the data, you have a kind of master data, you have configuration, and you have ledgers in the old system. This is the left part of the slide. And if you're going to migrate master data, you may face with several issues. The first issue is that if you have some customization in the master data and you need to transfer this customization to the new version, the data structure will change because BC use extensions, and actually if you add some new field to the customer table, that's mean that at the database level it will be separate table. And in that case, if you're going to transfer data from the old system to the new one, you need to prepare mapping between old system and the new one. And we have a tool which automatically creates this kind of mapping based on tables ID, fields ID, names ID, and as a result, the system trying to transfer all this data automatically based on the mapping. And if some data unable to be transferred, the system prepares some log, and you can enrich your mapping based on this log and finally transfer the data to the new database. The second issue which you might face when you migrate master data to the new version is just deduplication. And we have a tool I'll tell you about a bit later, how you can deduplicate your master data. So now when you use all these tools, you finally transfer all your master data and configuration to the new version of the Business Central. We use API and SQL connectors to transfer this data. It depends on are we going to use BC Cloud or on-premise version. So if you're talking about ledgers, here's a bit different situation because we don't need to put master data in the same table. We just need to put it to the some journal, some unposted entities in the system. And here we need to apply some business logic for transformation data. For example, if you're talking about account payables and account receivables, you need to upload to the new system only opened transactions with remaining amount and original dimensions. If we are talking about bank accounts, for example, you can aggregate all your transactions by mandatory dimensions with original amounts and so forth. So with a set of unique business rules which you need to apply for some specific business data. And we have a pre-configured transition tool which help you automatically transform your ledgers data to the unposted entity in the new system. I mean general journals, item journals, and so forth. When you post all these data in your database, you will receive ledgers, and finally you can use a reconciliation tool to compare ledgers in old system and a new one, and to be sure that everything is works fine. And as I promised, I'll show you how it works a bit later. So what about master data cleaning? And here is how it works, how we can deduplicate some data in your master directory. So here you can see green squares. It's source master data and target master data. And we have a mapping tool in the system which help you to map all the fields from old database to the new one. So mapping show how system need to transfer all this data from the old system to the new one. So we have a machine learning analyst tool which can analyze your master data, and based on this information, a system can prepare kind of report which includes some suggestion about deduplication and some anomalies. So for example, our deduplication algorithm use Levenshtein distance and Gaussian similarity to find out which master data are duplicated. And if you are talking about some anomalies, it's mean, for example, if some fields are empty, and it's strange if we will look at whole master data. So this is a report. It's just suggestion based on these suggestion, we can feel some configuration relates to the data model mapping, which includes sets of rules how we can transfer the source master data to the target master data. So it's the first step, and the second step, we can analyze the ledgers and see what activities we now have with ledgers. And for example, if you have some vendor when it has some transactions 3 or 5 years ago, you understand that you are not working with this vendor anymore, and system will prepare a report that this vendor is going to be now removed from migrations. Again, it's a kind of suggestion report, and you just need to review it and make some decisions based on that. So what's about reconciliation tool? Here, for example, you can see the old NAV or Business Central and a new one. And for example, we are talking about customer ledger entry. And you know that the structure of this table is a bit different in old system and in new one. We can see some technical fields. We can see some available fields. For example, now for reconciliation purpose, it's available to reconcile, for example, document number, posting date, various amounts, for example, amount LCY. Also, we need to reconcile dimensions which relates to these particular transactions. But we know that in old system and in new one, dimension has different structure, and in old system you need to know entry node to find out all related dimensions, but in new system you need to know dimension set ID to find out all related dimensions. So this is a pre-configured tool which knows how we need to provide a reconciliation. So we have a list of available fields which we need to reconcile, and this tool has pre-configured links with related data like dimensions. So what's the main idea here? So what's next? Before we was talking about the migration or upgrade project, and here we have 3 automated tools which helps to reduce workload and risks during the migration project. We also have diagnostic report or upgrade scanner, and the key idea here is that this tool can analyze your object database. We don't have access actually to your database. We need only objects, and this tool can find all the customization which your database has. So we compare the standard functionality with all objects in your system, and this is how we can compare and find all customizations. And we find customization in all core objects, and that's more crucial for migration projects. Also, we find some technical issues, kind of SQL procedures, automation objects, .NET components, which needs to be rewritten on code level because these components doesn't support in Business Central. Also, we can assess of workload on end users during the implementation. We prepare lots of statistic data. We show some the most customized functional areas, and based on this information, you can exclude some functionality which you're not in use, or you can redesign it somehow, use some outsourced solutions, and so forth. And also in this diagnostic report, we are ready to prepare a fixed price estimation for the whole project of migration to the new version. For visualization, I just wanted to show you the raw data in on which this diagnostic report is based. So here in the list you can see the all list of objects in some customer database, and you can see lots of values in the columns. So system analyze customization in the core, some reports which use SQL, some reports which use .NET components, and so forth. And based on this raw data, we prepare a 20-page report, not with just statistic data, but with some conclusions of our senior specialists. And for visualization, it's one of the results with diagnostic. For example, as I told, we compare the standard functionality with functionality which you have in your database, and we will find all the differences, all the gaps. And this is example of this. It's a technical part actually of this report, and only developers work with this functionality. But you can see that it's very deep. We can see all lines of customization in your database. So thank you very much. For now, we have very little time. I pass the word to Lana.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Alex, very much. It was really insightful, and I hope your silent migration approach will help our clients to migrate faster and more secure. So, as you see at the slide, Upgrade Scanner, it's the name of our solution. You can find it at our website, N.Progression.com. And if you will join to our early adopter program, you will get a special price on the migration. So let's start our QA session. And so the first question from our guest, what is the pricing for these solutions? Are they sold together or separately? So, Alex, could you please answer the question?
We actually not selling these solutions. They are part of our silent migration strategy, and we use it during our migration project. This solution affects the timing of upgrade projects, the price in itself. Of course, we have some commits in the agreement, but we are not selling it right now. But if you have any ideas, you can contact me and we can discuss this opportunity.
Thank you, Alex. One more question for you. How can you estimate user load based on system objects?
Of course, we are unable to precisely know the future workload of end users, but all upgrade projects are very similar. If you know the amount of users, you know the amount of transactions in ledgers, and if you know the volume of customization, you can quite precisely to estimate what the user's workload will be during different stages.
Great, thanks. So many questions, but maybe somebody will add some questions. And if you will understand that you got a question and you didn't send it here, you can send your question directly to Alex's LinkedIn page or to our LinkedIn profile or to our mail sales N.Progression.com, and we will answer with pleasure. So that's all for today, all questions. I hope that our webinar was really insightful and will help you to migrate more secure and faster. So see you on our next webinars, and please follow us in LinkedIn, and we will be here.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.